Yes, I'm really happy to be here today in San Francisco, telling you about our experiences in the app space, especially inside Nokia ecosystem, in developing literally thousands of applications using Qt for ourselves and partners. But hey, first one question, how many of you have actually been developing some apps using Qt or otherwise? How many of you are familiar with that in app space? And how many of you have actually published any application using into any of the app stores globally? Okay, but still, I'm going to go through a few topics. First, I will introduce our company, and then I will talk a little bit about the big picture happening now in the app space. What is the relation between web and mobile apps? And then I will tell you our experiences in developing apps using Qt and also the various success factors we have found out so far in how to make these apps successful in the marketplace. And then, obviously, I'm going to cover a little bit about the differences between web and native applications. And then I will give you some examples about applications developed by us and also some figures of in what sense we have been so successful. Okay, first, our company. So we have been creating apps since about 7 years, and so far only for various Nokia platforms. And based on downloads, we are #1 developer in all Nokia platforms. And so far, we have only on Nokia about 83 million downloads, which is quite good globally. And we have reached this number by creating more than 600 various applications. And on top of this, we have developed also for partners more than 2,000 applications. So first, what is the big picture? We believe that web is turning mobile, and mobile is turning into applications, meaning native applications for various regions. So obviously, it is quite easy to understand why mobile is preferred way to use web. So mobile is always in the pocket. So it is always present. So it is a very convenient way to use web. But if you consider the limitations of the mobile browser, so they are many. Because device is very small, it is very hard to make a web application in such a way that it actually competes against native applications. With a native application, we can get the full power of the device in use. If you think what happens with the browser development teams, so if there is a new capability available for a mobile device, let's say somebody decides a way to do, for example, NFC. And we want to, if a developer developing web applications want to use this, he has to wait until browser development teams have been able to incorporate this new feature into browser APIs. But native application developers can start using it at the same time when browser developers are actually able to start doing the same thing. So we see that there is always an edge for native apps against mobile web. So if you think what is the way to be successful with mobile applications, it is very simple. So first of all, the design must be correct. So if the design is bad, nobody will look at the application the second time. And another thing is that there are so many platforms now. There is more than one platform in mobile. So we can easily calculate 5 or 6 major platforms. So if the design allows porting, easy porting from platform to platform, it obviously makes it easier to monetize if you can reach all these long-tail platforms as well. Another thing is timing. So if you just make a copycat application, it is much harder to get recognition in the marketplace. But if you get this application done the first, it is easier to get bloggers and other enthusiasts actually speak for you. And again, is this reach. So there is more to reach than just platforms. It is also the markets. If application is designed in such a way that it's very easy to localize for different markets, it is much easier to monetize as well. For example, we get now the most downloads in China, in mainland China. Second biggest market is India. And in these countries, many languages are spoken and many scripts are used. So it means that if we have actually text strings inside applications, it is very hard to localize. I just discussed with LimeRich, which is one of the biggest localization companies globally, and they have recognized about 2,000 different languages. So Nokia is now talking about the next 1 million phones, I mean the next 1 billion to be reached with the devices. But if these next 1 billion users will be reached, these devices have to be actually localized for 2,000 languages, which is quite a lot. And many of these languages are quite funny, so I mean, it is sometimes very hard to come up with a nice localization for even internet. So they told me that the correct wording for internet in some African languages means something like 5 words and maybe 50 characters. So it is hard to place this inside a menu. So therefore, this really calls for brilliant design to overcome these issues. I will explain to you what I mean. So, beside the benefits of mobile devices, which are many, so I mean, we have lots of capabilities which many PCs don't have. For example, touch input, different sensors, you can use your device by tilting it around. And then there is always at least microphone, usually a camera present, and always a loudspeaker, and quite often also GPS or some other way to get location of the device. But on the other hand, the screen size is very limited. So you can't really squeeze full CNN.com or something on a mobile screen. So if you look at a typical Nokia device, which is very similar to the typical iPhone or whatever, so the screen size varies between 3 to 4 inches because of very good reasons. For example, if it were 7 inches or 10 inches, it wouldn't fit into your shirt pocket anymore. And then because of battery technology, the processing power is maybe 10-fold more limited than on PCs. So because there aren't such batteries existing that we could actually run these devices at 5 gigahertz, so that's why we need to use ARM technology and similar. And then also nowadays most devices lack keyboards, so it is again a question of convenience, but they just lack it. So if you think from design point of view, so here is a matchbox overimposed on top of this mobile screen. So we see that a typical box of matches actually overlaps the whole screen. And if you think about design, so whoever in his right mind would design matchbox label in such a way that mobile websites are designed. So only a few words can actually fit into this screen in order to keep it still usable. Therefore, we must find ways to overcome this space limitation in the usual ways, like mobile games do. If you think Plants and Zombies so, and other brilliant games in existence, so usually they have a much bigger virtual screen behind. So we must use animations to overcome these limitations, and also other brilliant design aspects. Okay, so here are the numbers we have reached so far in the Nokia ecosystem. Currently, I just checked this on Monday, so we have more than 83 million downloads up to date. And with our own name, we have 675 applications published in Nokia Store. And we use various business models to monetize these applications. One of the biggest now is advertising. We are reaching towards 1 million ad impressions a day for this catalog of apps. And on top of this, we have a little bit more than 2,000 apps produced for others. Let's have a look at some examples. So here are 3 applications which have most downloads in Nokia Store right now. And I want to highlight some aspects when it comes to design. For example, an app can be very successful even though it is not complex by design or by idea. So this was done about 3.5 years ago. It was the first flashlight application for any Nokia device with a real-looking user interface. It is basically a light switch, and it is hugely popular. We have also a version with ads of this application. So you just turn the camera LED on and off. It is just, maybe 20 lines of cute code, plus the libraries. Very simple. We did it in 1 day, the whole thing, including the design. I think actually it was done in less than 6 hours, the whole thing, including the design. And still it is successful. Another thing you realize is that we try to keep controls as international as possible, trying to avoid any text strings because of this 2000 language barrier. So if we are able to come with the symbols which are easy to recognize internationally, so we save lots of time and money, being not forced to actually localize these strings. Here is another very simple example. This is GPS altimeter. It just grabs GPS height and then rotates one single bitmap on this dial. And then also this replaces the number from a graphics bitmap. So, and again, people love this for a reason which I'm going to tell you in a minute. And this is still another version. This is a little bit more complex one because here we are using our own physics engine. So this took maybe almost 3 days to develop. There is a physics engine inside because this is a game called Bagatelle. So you just, drag this stick here and you throw the balls into this screen and you try to get as many points as possible. And again, all these applications have very simple design. We always aim to have maximum maybe 3 screens in the application because people get simple things more easily than complex things. Again, one thing to consider is how people actually see these applications in marketplaces. Usually we are only allowed to have some screenshots, maybe even only small screenshots of the application. So if we can keep the application so simple that it actually resembles the screenshots they see in the marketplace. So it is easier for them to be convinced and actually download this. They make this download decision maybe in 5 or 10 seconds when browsing through the catalog of hundreds of thousands of applications available nowadays. Okay, let's have a look on some more examples. Again, these all do the same idea. This is a very nice egg timer designed based on Miele household appliances. So we try to have some kind of real-looking material feeling. We try to blend the virtual and the real. So this is perhaps the thing what Apple was able to convince people. So this gives this feeling of magic to this application, what consumers are so delighted about. And this is a remake of Compass, and I quite like this design more than Apple's design because this looks more real. There is no plastic background. All these numbers, they are actually inside these brass rims. So we try to make this more convincing, more real looking than other applications. So we try to make this look like it is actually a real thing. And then this chessboard. Here obviously we had to make some compromises because the screen is so small. But this is 2-player chess, which was very easy to make. So there is no artificial intelligence inside. But still, it has been quite successful in the marketplace. It's very easy to just program chess rules inside and to allow you to move the pieces. But AI would be a much harder thing to do. Again, some more examples. This was builder's level, again done about almost 4 years ago. So again, using just simple sensors just to animate a couple of bitmaps. This was again done maybe in less than a day. This is one of my favorites. So this is very international application, sticky notes application with no text. So people just draw. They just zoom in, move these sticky notes around, and they zoom in and draw everything they want to do. So again, no need for any typing, no need for any exotic scripts. So this is again completely international. People can write in any language they feel like, even Arabic, even Mandarin Chinese. And this is our Connect 4, which we call disks. Again, we try to make it real looking in order to make it more convincing. And these downloads, they actually justify my thinking. So we have done also some other applications which are not so real looking, and somehow people are not so delighted. So this is what I might mean by design. So making design such that it is easy to get, easy to use, and especially as convincing and real looking as possible. So then about how to actually make money with mobile applications. This is maybe the hardest thing. Obviously, even though if you have great design, it might not help you. There are many ways to get actually noticed. I think this being first thing is the most important. So far we have done no advertising at all. But still, whenever we publish a bunch of new applications, we get noticed in this Nokia ecosystem, because usually we try to do things the first. But still, these are the ways of monetization we have tried so far. Premium is the classic one, like App Store. So you just let people buy and download. So this has been tried in mobile ecosystems since 1990s or something with Java applications. Obviously, there is a problem because people don't want to usually give away money if they don't know why. So we see between free and premium applications a difference of 1 to 200 between the download numbers we get. So if something is free, we get maybe 200 times more downloads than for premium applications. So obviously, this premium thing only works for really very top-level applications, so really recognized applications, like Plants and Zombies, perhaps. So you really need to be on top before going premium. Try and buy is easier, so if people can try out for some days and you only judge afterwards, it lessens this difficulty of actually paying something. And then freemium is a very good model. So you download a basic version of that application and then upgrade it to full version. And this again works if there is some easy way to distinguish the real premium features, what people really are looking for, from these basic features, what they're willing to download the application for. And so far, adware has been the easiest way because there are many problems, issues with payment options worldwide. For example, even Germany, which is considered to be one of the successful nations in the world, about only 30% of population do have international credit cards. So it means that if your billing is based on credit cards, you lose 70% of customers. So I don't know why this is, but it is a fact. So they don't travel so much, they use debit cards instead, which usually are not possible to use in app stores. And then what comes to operator billing, again, usually operators, they take a huge cut. So between 40% and even 70 or 80% of the revenues. So again, it is hard to make money with premium sales because of these various reasons. And also, there are many countries where it's impossible to do a mobile payment and people don't have no credit cards at all. So obviously, then only thing left is advertising. And then, of course, making branded apps for others. So if somebody pays you for the application development, so then you get money at once, which is my favorite model, by the way. Okay. So where to from here? We really feel that this mobile application space is only taking its first steps, because there are now billions, maybe not billions of websites, but I mean hundreds of millions of websites, and even more microsites inside these websites. And if we want to make this information usable for end users, we actually need to make mobile applications, even for these microsites. So we feel that websites are becoming apps and microsites will be micro apps. So we see that there will be actually millions of new applications developed during next few years. And another thing is that even though platforms are converging, but it still pays off to develop for all long-tail platforms. And by correct design, it is possible. By using porting tools like Qt, it is possible. So what I really urge everybody to do is to look for mobile app space and be part of this creation of next maybe 1 million or 10 million applications. So this was it. Thank you. So do you have any questions about applications, app space, Qt in mobile apps development?
Speed of development.
Yes. Obviously, it helps if you do it in a factory setting like we do. So because then you have all your frameworks ready for you to just churn out more applications. But still, Qt is a really brilliant way of creating really good performing applications for at least Nokia devices, which we are so well aware of.
So what is your factory environment? What does it look like?
So I mean, we have created dozens of tools over the years. So the reason why we started creating tools to ease development was that Nokia is infamous for many platform breaks in their platforms. So I think they have made some enemies during the years because they made binary breaks and even platform breaks over the years. So that is the reason why we have been looking for different kinds of tools and creating our own tools in order to make this easier. So I mean, we do have even cross-compilers created to make life easier for us. So nowadays we can even cross-compile from one language to others. For example, the C#, which Qt doesn't cover, we can do with our own cross-compiler.
All right. Harri,
okay, thank you. Yes. Cheers.